Welcome back, and first up here's an attempt at cutting out a rib blank from some MDF, and just using the 3/8 of an inch ball mill and kind of just running a swarf cut around what the path is and stepping it down a half an inch at a time, and sort of cutting each side one time, or one pass at a time. Anyway, so that's basically how it works, and it doesn't take long, about 20 minutes to cut one of those out. And there's the result there. Sort of, you see it looks a little bit like the 3D printed ones, and that's kind of the goal. And so we're going to see, obviously that doesn't take as much work to do as the 3D printed one, so we'll do some more of those and pull some molds. Anyway, Brett came back with the Y-pipe there, the reverse Y-pipe, just tacked into place so I could fit it to the rest of the exhaust there with the little V-band flanges, so I'm working on that. And here's our tank. So those Jeff drilled out those bits of carbon there where the hard points are in there, and you can see where the threads are for everything there. So that's all set up now. So the next step on that one is to seal the inside of the tank using the Jeffco, which actually Jeffco is now a product owned by Rhino. The same company makes the Rhino bed liners, and people have asked, it's impervious to diesel and fuel. It doesn't let any sort of diesel or fuel leak through it whatsoever, so that's why we use it. Anyway, so you can see that's coming out. And meanwhile, progress continues on these inner winglet plugs. So this is the left side one now, and you can see the guys have glassed that one. It was obviously milled over the weekend and finished Monday morning, and glassed Monday afternoon. So that one's ready for putty now. And speaking of the winglets, here's the outer winglet mold. So this is the first one, that's the right side one. Just released, I believe, yesterday. Released from its plug, and that came out nicely. And here's the one for the left side, and that was also released. So a little bit of dust on it already, but those things just sort of static, and they just gather dust very quickly once you release them. Anyway, so those two came out well. So this is Monday evening, and this is the first of the inside or inner winglet plugs here. This is the right side one up on the machine and getting its milling. And as you can see here, I've got the short 3/4 inch flat end mill on there, which does a nice job on doing most of the surfaces until I switch to the ball mill. And back over to the Y-pipe for the turbos. So what I did was I basically cut the V-band flanges off of the other setup that we had before, where it was basically the two going into a single V-band. So I cut those off because I tried to order these V-bands and they kept sending me the wrong ones. So just got the right ones off of there, cut them off at the right angle and the right length, and sit them there so they're ready to be welded up now. And there's the left side inner winglet plug, halfway through getting sprayed with putty. So as soon as the other one is finished, this one will go up on the machine and get done. And here's the tank again, and Jeff's lining the inside of it with a Jeffco, or the Rhino lining as you want to call it. And actually quite a few people had mentioned to us that we shouldn't be using aluminum for the hard points in there, but as you can see, it's basically very well sealed off with the resin that's around it and the carbon fiber that's around it, and there's no air or moisture that can get to it once those fittings and stuff are in there. So we're not worried about any sort of corrosion or anything going on, and this is not the first time this technique has been used, so don't worry about it too much. And this is Zach doing a little repair on the upper wing skin plug, because we're going to reuse that to create a new fixture for holding the wings when we assemble them, and you'll see more of that later on. And this is the right side inner winglet plug, so already off the machine, already sprayed with the guide coat, and the guys are getting ready to start working on that one this evening. So things are moving along quite quickly with these two plugs. And up on the machine, here's the other one just starting out. And so I actually switched it to the long end mill initially just to get this one face here, because when I tried to run the short one on the other one, I actually ended up bumping the machine into the curve of the plug there. I didn't want to do it again. So anyway, that solved that problem. And lastly, I stopped by Brett's shop this afternoon to drop off that Y-pipe and those V-band flanges so he could weld those on. And as you can see, he's been pretty busy here. Here's all the other stuff that I left him last week, and he's basically tacked everything into place there and getting ready to do the finish welding. And he's also used a bead roller there on some of those ones there where the silicon pipe is going to join one pipe to another pipe or to a turbo. So that's all coming along. Anyway, that's our update for the first half of this week, and thanks again for watching.